I decided to complete my Indiana Cave Trail tour in 2 days. I have to still hit Indiana Cave, which is where I'm going immediately, and then after I have to drive about an hour, a little more than an hour up to Bedford, Indiana for Spring Caverns, which both of those were not open when I was a kid, so I don't think I've ever been in these two. And one of the nice features about both of them is there's a boat ride inside of both of them, because they both have rivers. Now, Indiana Caverns claim to fame. I think it's the biggest cave in Indiana as far as size, and I think it's 7th or 8th, depending on who you ask, in the United States. Mammoth Cave being the biggest in the United States, which I think I'll go to one weekend. Now, it's also the deepest in Indiana. That's Indiana Caverns. Now, Blue Springs, it's more recent. Apparently, there was a sinkhole that opened it up, a new entrance back in, like, I think, the 40s. And it wasn't even commercial back in the 80s, though the farm owners would let people come in. And I think around... Actually, I have to ask when I get there when they opened it up, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't open as a kid. But one of its big claims to fame is it has a very large navigatable underground river, like 3 miles of it, that you can take a boat ride through. And my understanding, that's the biggest in Indiana, and I'm not sure about the United States. But anyway, we're right now on our way near Corden, Indiana, to go to Indiana Caverns, and then we'll move on from there to Blue Springs Caverns, and maybe spend some time at Spring Mill State Park. I got here to Indiana Caverns. It's got some of the similar things to what Squire Boone's does, and, well, also Marengo. Gem and fossil mining, I imagine it's going to be something similar where you pan through sand. Escape room of some kind. And this is kind of interesting. It's almost a roller coaster, but you hang on it like a zip slide, or zip line, I should say. And I'm assuming there's some kind of feeding zoo way off over there. I seem to have made a friend. I don't know if that cat belongs to Indiana Caves or what. And I guess that's the saber-tooth cat they're talking about right there. But let's go check out this display, then go inside and get some tickets. My understanding from talking to one of the guys at Squire Boone's, this place is less oriented towards rock formations and more towards archaeology and paleontology. I don't think I really want to go crawling in that right now. Now, which package to go with? Assuming my weight will allow me, I'd like to go in the gold package because that roller coaster looking zipline thing seems pretty cool. But I'm not sure if I fit the weight requirements. I know I'm just underneath the height requirements for it. But that one looks like the one to go on. I'm not so sure I really care about anything like the plunge, escape room, or cavern of the saber-tooth. I don't really want to get down my belly and crawl and feed the goats. The goats are probably pretty well fed as it is. First trip doesn't leave till 9:40 apparently, but I got my ticket and so forth, and I'm riding that limit for whether or not I can go on that bat chaser ride. But we'll see if I'm any lighter in a few hours. Probably not, but I want to give the thing a shot. I think I mentioned this before, but the younger dude at Squire Boone Caverns told me this place is less about rock formations and more about archaeology and paleontology. So apparently this is a little trail they have set up that's short, that you're over top of the cave, and it explains some things about the science and what all was found in the cave and so forth. Which is kind of nifty. There's also another trail I may do that's 3 miles, but I may set back my plans to get up to Blue Springs today. Still walking along this little interpretive trail. Something I don't know if I mentioned before, both this one and Blue Springs Caves, they both have underground rivers. This one's still out on the interpretive trail for just a bit. I don't know if I mentioned it for this particular one, Indiana Caverns, but they have a boat ride in here also. Blue Springs has a longer one, as I understand it, but this one also has a boat ride inside of it, which should be pretty cool. Binkley Cave System, apparently 7th or 8th largest in the United States and first largest in Indiana.
In 1967, Gary Robertson and Terry Craven, two high school caving buddies,
Sorry.
Okay, everybody, guys. Good, how are you? Good, pretty good. Well, you just came just in time. So, how many of you all have ever been? Now, y'all just say on average.
I love all these spiral staircases I'm seeing in southern Indiana caves.
Okay, everybody, if you look right here, you can see some bones. And these bones are from our ancient juvenile spices. Now, when the paleontologists first came to Indiana Caverns in 2012 to look at our bones, they originally thought it was from a piece of cattle that fell into a sinkhole, because Indiana has over 300,000 sinkholes, with the majority being in the caves. But when I did some carbon dating, and looked at the bones a little bit closer, I realized it was not a piece of head. That means their foot and their tail are up around. Was our most abundant animal in our cave.
Can I take a
When the
look?
Indiana Cave Society came up with bones for the Indiana State Museum, they collected over 50 bags of bones, with the majority being peccaries. And if y'all look right here at that skull and jaw, that is from our fisher. Now, the fisher is a cat weasel looking like animal that is still alive today. They just migrated with the glacier, so now they live in Canada, Alaska, and Washington area. And when the paleontologists carbonated all these bones, they are carbon dated to be 41,000 years old.
Peccary Decory Dock.
I was able to do a dig here. So if you look right here, you can see where she first started, and she found nothing. So she moved over here, found a few small bones, a few small teeth, or peccary teeth, but still nothing that much. So then she moved over here and found the jackpot. The bone to centimeter ratio is 40 to 60, so the more she dug, the more peccary bones she found. Now, if you're wondering about her high-tech equipment like the Walmart clay set, the toothbrush, and the soft bristle brush. Well, these bones actually have a consistency of a wet graham cracker, and if you were to touch it with your hands or anything kind of hard, they would just dissolve. So when the Indiana Cave Society came to collect bones for the Indiana State Museum, they actually had to coat them in a resin so they wouldn't just fall apart as they're handling them. And these bones are carbon dated to be 38,000 rotations, so she kept it there to preserve its memory. Any other questions?
What they said, previous entrances were marked with blue. And I think she said something about a chert wall up here being very hard if you hit your head on it. I know they used to make arrowheads out of chert, so that makes sense. And I have to duck. This cave has a few places that aren't conducive to a 6-foot free man.
This is our Pleistocene black bear. Maybe it was a black bear during the ice ages. Now these bears were 20% bigger than the bears we have today, which makes them about 20% more scary. But these bears usually like to hibernate in their wallows, also known as their bear bed. Main cave is pitch black. Can't really see anything. So they use their nose as their eyes, and they would grab their scent all over the cave walls to make it back to their wallow. And these bones are carbonated to be 38,000 years old. Does anybody have any questions?
Some of the passages in Indiana Cave are not Adrian height friendly.
Okay, everybody. If you leave right here, you can see our cave sandcastle. I like to think that Daisy the dragon is also protecting it. It's black, so Daisy told him to look around. And if y'all look right here, and I don't really see anymore, unfortunately. Oh, there's one right there. You can see our cave salamanders. Now, our cave salamanders are troglophiles, which means they like the cave, but they can't live in it their whole life. So as babies, they are born in our cave water, but as they get older, they get about 6 to 7 inches, grow orange spots on their back, and go to the surface. Oh, look, there's a big crayfish right there. This stone comes to grow
Thank you.
Super hard and scary. Is it super flammable? It is. Well, it's not flammable, but when you take 2 pieces of turtle, they kind of
Definitely watching my head on a boat ride.
So the reason why this one does is because our cave used to be completely underwater, and as for rapids used to hit the cave wall, they make those 8 carton textures they just saw.
Cave cushion?
Cave cushion.
Yeah, I'm watching out.
How many have you had?
Okay, this one gets close.
Single one left. Well, a day.
Oh, so they so everywhere was black.
Yeah, if y'all look right here, you can see our cave jack-o'-lantern, also known as the stalagmite. Now, it was the maintenance man's last day at Indiana Caverns, and we asked him to fix the light for us, but he really didn't want to. So he displayed his emotions with art.
Who did you ask to fix this?
Right over there. Also, I'm not the best at turning the boat around, so we might hit a rock, but it's okay. We will not sink like the Titanic.
So all the ground above us is owned by Indiana Caves?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question. Did that boat answer that stuff?
Did the boat do what?
Why is there a boat there?
Some cave tour guide went over there, or tried to. And if you see shorts, not at once, just very close.
And they call this Fundo Alley for a good reason, I guess. I have to duck kind of low. Really low. Ouch! Crap. There's my hat. Blue denotes entrances, I believe.
Since this was a bear's wallow, some bears had some bed and breakfast. Anybody have any questions?
Pickery footprints. I got my hat back. Luckily I had my cane with me. Somewhere up above us was a sinkhole where animals fell down and got a bunch of bones in here. Hello, totes my goats. Okay, I know you all think I have food. Unfortunately, I'm a cheapskate and don't have any. And I ate the fudge I had. Don't know if that'd be any good for you anyway. I need to cut back on the fudge so I can actually ride the bat chaser. I think I'm going to skip this 3-mile hike into the woods because I was told there's not any major features on it by one of the ladies who worked here. So I may come back here the next time I come back to check out the bat chaser. But I think my next stop is going to be up at Bedford, Indiana, for Bluespring Caverns. I got the hat I dropped back, but unfortunately it has some mud on it, so this is my spare Camp Crystal Lake hat. There's about 3 things I've noticed that every single one of these tour guides at all these caves have said. We'll see if it holds true for the last cave I'm going to, Bluespring Caverns up in Bedford, Indiana. And the 3 things they seem to tell you is don't touch the cave formations, which I can understand because human oils are going to mess up with their growth. Another thing that they say is that formation takes 100 years to grow. Everybody has said that, except for the first guy at Spring Caverns, who said, well, that's what they tell you to say, but apparently it varies a lot with the amount of water and, I guess, minerals and so forth, because he said he's seen some things form in the cave. and that cave's only been open for the last 50 years or so, but those places they've constructed where the formations are already coming through. And also, everybody likes to show off what it is in the dark. Everybody seems to have a lights out experience, which is nifty, but that seems to be a feature on every single cave tour I've been on. Lots of kind of rural back roads to get from one cave to the other. I think it's about an hour and 20-minute trip from down here at Indiana Caverns up to Bluespring Caverns. The other three in that particular Indiana Cave Trail tour, well, it's not an official tour, but you can get a t-shirt for it. From that particular trip, they're all closer together because Marengo's a lot closer to Indiana Cave and Squire Boone. Indiana Cave and Squire Boone I don't think are very far apart at all. But I'm going to be out here driving on back road and seeing the Indiana countryside for the next hour or so. Lots and lots of corn. Moo. Still driving and driving and driving. I think I have a month free subscription to Sirius XM, and this is the song that's on. So just imagine me driving through country back roads in Indiana singing this song in the car. We are approaching the second cave, and I'm really beginning to like the Sirius XM 80s on 8 channel. I have to look up how much it costs to actually get a permanent subscription. I got to Bluespring Caverns Park. Now I'm wondering if it's Blue Spring or Blue Springs or what I read in some of the other promotional material. I got to Bluespring Caverns or Blue Springs Cavern. Now I'm confused. Now I'll look around the documentation here and see which one they actually call it. But it seems to have less stuff on the outside than some of the other ones. But it's also supposed to have like one of the largest underground rivers that are navigable in Indiana at 3 miles. Looks like everybody and their brother has one of these mystery mining things. I'm assuming that's the entrance to the cave down there. Little map. I think I found out my confusion. The road this is on is called Blue Springs, but the caverns itself is just called Blue Spring, so no plural. And they have the normal little rock stuff that you see in a lot of these kind of gift shops. I wonder if Squire Boone makes this thing for everybody. Because they produce knick-knack products, little souvenir things for all sorts of other people, apparently. I may have my history of this place a little bit screwed up, but based on what I've been told and what I've read online, apparently there used to be a different entrance to this cave on the White River, but then they dammed up part of the White River and that entrance became unavailable. Then there was this guy named George Colgazer, and on his family farm there was a pond, but all of a sudden overnight after a storm that pond kind of disappeared into a sinkhole. So we got this, and that provided a new entrance into the caverns. And I was told he didn't make a profit off it, but I assume he sold the land at some point in time. But apparently they started tours here in 1974. I just didn't know about it. It was kind of neat to think that this was once a little pond, and then overnight they come out and like, oh, what the hell happened here? But I'm going to go take my t-shirt that I just got. I got all 4 caves that I was supposed to do. So now I got this t-shirt that I'm going to try to avoid getting wet. Nothing on the back side. A little easier to see. I used to travel a lot with my family, and even if we were going to some big destination like Disney World, we usually stop at a bunch of Civil War battle places and Revolutionary War battlefields. And I used to travel a lot by car with my family when I was younger, and we'd go to bigger places like, let's say, Disney World. But along the way, we'd stop at various Civil War battlefields, Revolutionary War battlefields, and also some tourist trappy kind of places along the way. I used to have a bunch of these different flyers for different places, and I have to figure out which ones I might want to visit just for the hell of it. I guess in hindsight, I should have kept an eye out for one of these brochures, because apparently those top 4 coupons are all for places I've been this weekend. I do want to go to Cave Country Canoes again, though. I believe I've been there before. before, but I'm not 100% sure. That sounds like fun. Even cavemen have to socially distance, I guess. Apparently at one time it was called Bluesprings Cave, with the space and the plural. All right, this one's supposed to be pretty much all boat ride.
Hands are right there, but if you take that and the power goes out, it'll turn into an extended tour of us pushing you back in the dark. And forth. Seats, not only are they putting... Have any of you guys been in a cave before? Yeah. Which ones?
Tennessee Georgia tag.
You can't see the bottom right now because it's still kind of cloudy. But if you have a chance of actually seeing, I've seen a lot today, but also fish will wash up in here. We actually have a catfish that washed in here earlier. First tour of the day we saw it was in one of the rooms. Really? They aren't supposed to be. They wash up from the White River. Whenever it floods, it'll kind of wash in here. They aren't supposed to be in here as they eat all the crayfish and cavefish, and they are actually in danger.
What, so, cave crayfish?
Cave fish are in danger. Right?
Oh, cave fish are, okay.
Yeah.
A question, how long is the, I heard there's 33 miles of navigatable, but how long is the boat trip on this tour?
The boat trip is 5/8 of a mile.
Okay. But apparently there's 3 miles of this that's navigable? I read that online, maybe I could be wrong.
Oh, there's the Noggin Knocker right there.
The river system that like you can actually take a legitimate boat on is about 4 miles long.
Okay. 4 miles, okay.
Yeah.
Watch your head, by the way. Stalactite on the tour. It is called the elephant's head. See the eyes, ears, trunk, whichever way you
that is
see
cool.
it. Then right behind it is a screaming pterodactyl. My favorite formation.
Oh, no way.
That's
Crazy.
Who's the ghost back there? I'm just kidding.
That's Bigfoot.
You can just ask the manager, or you can just call in and say that you want to schedule a kayaking tour.
They probably won't ever make it out. They'll probably become crayfish food. But they come in here during the winter because the States around it's warmer than it is in here outside. And they kind of get washed up somewhere, whatever. So they somehow get down here one way or another. Like 1 or 2 fingers if possible, or just use your sleeve to push yourself away.
Is that
right
wall?
over here? I'm actually going to talk about this.
Okay.
This is the quarry room. It looks like it's man-made. It's how flat it is. It's actually entirely natural, and it's due to a process called chemical erosion, where the water gets into the cracks of it, and it slowly eats away at it until it becomes too much for its own weight, and it falls from the ceiling. If it was clear enough, you could actually see down to the bottom where things have fallen, but it gives it this flat, man-made look like we poured it out.
Actually,
no.
decent degree
Right
right
here.
here. See it?
Well, right here is the best example we have of it currently happening. You can see the cracks right there as the water is eating it away.
Right.
Watch your head, man.
Blockades are getting through, so we just took it off.
Right. Is there any chance we could stop the boat and turn the lights off?
That's actually a demonstration we're doing soon. So
Cool.
Awesome.
Yes.
5 explorers split $5 between each person. They were poor, and they had no money, no running water. Their bathtub was literally just a tub. So if you stepped on that, you would. I can't remember. Someone told me a story of how they stepped in and they stepped up to neck height, but you're not sure if that's true. But we're gonna talk against this rock. We're gonna talk about some more history of the cave and do some demonstration. There is a large sandstone deposit. So if you follow this whole thing, you can even see the lifeline that goes through here. You can follow it to where it went before this whole area opened up. But then also, this rock back here. We call that the Straits of Gibraltar. The Straits of Gibraltar. Does anyone know what this is called? No. Okay. It's the Rock of Gibraltar. Pretty self-explanatory. But you notice how it's flat on the side? Bang. And then you can just let off. But this will be cave thunder in 3, 2, 1. Actually, I've done a tour before to where we passed someone else's tour and then we were like almost back and we heard that. You could actually hear it all the way back in the low docks if you're quiet.
So you're floating in a saline solution that literally makes you float. You're literally floating. The salinity value is so high that you're literally floating in air. So your body loses all.
And actually, they're not supposed to be in here because they will eat cave fish. So people will come down here and spearfish them. What I've heard, I think it's an actual fact. I'm pretty sure it's an actual fact. They were saying there's actually a room if you go further back down the like really far back into the cave. There's actually a room where you can fit a whole airplane in. And I've heard some people's favorite parts who have actually. That's how they get in here.
Where's the actual source of the water?
Like just springs, things like that.
Kind of feeds out.
Yeah, it just kind of feeds in.
That's why it's called the Mystery River.
Yeah, because before they called it the Mystery River, but we know now it's like springs and everything kind of feed in.
Right. I noticed.
That is actually the natural color of limestone. This cave, if you've seen like Lincoln Memorial, things like that. So if we were actually to come through here with a pressure washer and washed all this off, it would actually be that color the whole way.
White?
Yeah, you can't though because it's illegal. So.
Isn't Bedford supposed to be the limestone capital of the world or something like that they have on the
A lot
side?
of our limestone is used in like the Taj Mahal. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't mean to knock you down.
That's right.
Also, right over there. Remember how I was talking about chemical erosion earlier? You can see all these flat edges. I was talking about mechanical erosion as well. This is another good example of it over here too. Right next to it over there. It leaves like jagged edges. It just chips away at whatever it can. And it leaves like these jagged edges, no real pattern or anything. And it becomes looking like this, and like a chemical erosion, where it just eats away until it can't support its weight anymore.
Oh, way up there against the wall?
Yeah. One right there, one right there. You can see it.
Now, those ones go above surface, so they're not blind yet, right?
Well, they don't actually stay down here. So yeah, they are on the surface. They come down here during the winter because you only ever hit one person on it. She runs very alone. It's scratched everything. Tour we're doing right now, like halfway, we didn't own it, and because Indiana is a mineral state, whatever you own above, we also own below. So someone found out we were giving boat tours and commercially on their property, so they put down a property marker and said we gotta pay them 5% royalty tax every year until they died. Can't remember when, but they passed away, and we had a chance to buy the land. So now we can give tours without having to pay anything. And another reason we can't do tours through that little opening is because we don't own part of it. So if we are making money off of it, then we'll have to pay people money.
You don't mean that little opening past Gibraltar, you mean something else.
What?
You said your little opening. I'm assuming you don't mean Gibraltar.
That opening where you could hear the rapids.
Oh, okay.
And, like, you had to, like, you know, had to sit on your back on the kayak and everything. That little opening right next to the sinkhole.
Okay.
Right here. These are called flow stones. If you notice, the one in the middle is wet and the others aren't. That's because these ones have actually cut off their own water supply, so they can't grow anymore. Once they get too big, they cut off their own water supply, and then they just stay like this. But this one is still growing. Actually, on the other side of this one, right here, is the only stalagmite on tour. But because that one cut off its own water supply, they will never reach each other to colony. And screaming pterodactyl. Screaming pterodactyl is my favorite.
Okay, so that right there is the moose head you're talking about.
Actually, if we were to get close enough, you could put your light up next to it and shine it through it, and it would you would see it on the other side. See how dry it is. That right there, the reason why we still don't let people touch it because it is still actively part of it is. Well, the other part is the.
So what's on the other side of the?
That's actually the kayak tools.
Oh, so you actually can go through the waterfall? On the other side of the waterfall?
You don't go through the waterfall, but you'll like grab a kayak, you'll like walk down this little path for like a few feet or so. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, and then you drop in and you go. I think it's like what, 3 miles? It's like a 3-mile tour.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Back up and into the light. I think I had some kind of mineral and gem thing like that when I was a kid. I remember being on bigger board, but it was a common thing to see at these places. And then I got me a little polished off fossil, and I don't remember how to pronounce this particular squid relative, so I'll just not even try. My quick summary of the caves on the Indiana Cave Trail. I would say Squaboons, it's one of my favorites. It has some of the best formations. But it was really full of water and hard to hear people. But it was really cool, and it looks like after Memorial Day, I think it is, some of the other side features, like some of the Pioneer Village stuff, will be open, so that'd be cool. Marengo, actually, that might even have better formations than Squaboons, but it's really good and has 2 tours. But I don't know if it's as much other stuff around it to draw you in. Indiana Caves, or Indiana Caverns, has some kind of like drop bungee thing, which is cool, and looks cool at least, and also that bat chaser. But the cave itself, it's a little on the dry side, but if you're interested in archaeology and especially paleontology with all the dead animals that fell through that sinkhole and ended up dying down there and getting fossilized or semi-fossilized, that was pretty cool stuff. So I'd recommend, if you're interested in evolution and animals and prehistoric life, that would be a good one to go to. And up here at Bluesprings, or Bluespring, because apparently they did change the name at some point, not as much formation as far as rocks are concerned, but it is pretty cool, and it is a very long boat ride for inside of a cave, I guess. And it was worth me coming out here. Now I'm about to go visit the largest sinkhole in Indiana. I'm assuming this is that trail to the largest sinkhole in southern Indiana. Well, actually in Indiana, period, I believe he said. Yeah, we'll go wander and see. I passed a guy on the way out here who was actually in my boat for my tour a little bit ago, so I guess he must have booked it on out here. He said it wasn't that impressive. But I guess it is a big-ass sinkhole. I can see it from here now. Huh. We'll get down in it and take a better look. Well, I guess it's a big sinkhole. Now I kind of wonder when I'm climbing various places up and down hills if some of those are just sinkholes and they just don't know it. But that one goes deep down in. This whole area of Bedford, because of all the limestone, is full of sinkholes and carasts. I'm not exactly sure what a carast is. I need to look that up a little bit more. I think it's a series of like underground rivers and so forth, and limestone, and you have a lot of places where you get sinkholes like this. Yep, it's a hole in the ground. All right, next stop I think is going to be Apple Acres. Someone inside of Bluespring Caverns, one of the guys working there told me there's something there called, I think it was a cherry apple cider shake. It's supposed to be divine. So I'm going to give that a shot. And by the way, when I say divine, I don't mean like that person who used to act for John Waters. Just so you know. Biggest sinkhole in Indiana. I guess it's kind of cool to see. I wonder if there's anything actually down there. I'm too lazy to climb down there, but let's get ourselves to that orchard and eat some stuff that's bad for us. That house has seen better days. Alright, I'm gonna get some kind of sugary thing that's not good for me. Well, no sugar added. I guess that's an improvement. Just got out of Apple Acres and I got that cherry apple cider shake that the guy down there at Bluespring Caves recommended. Got me some buttery topping. Let me see. There's some kind of peach jam down in there. Some kind of spicy apple cider jam. And I believe hot chunky dill mix. We'll put that on some sandwiches. Alright. It's not Ohio or Pennsylvania, but Indiana does have a fair number of Amish. I got up this morning, it was below freezing. Now it's up in the 60s, I think. Much nicer. Gonna go into the nature center for a bit. Okay, they have the animals downstairs for the most part, I think. We got a few things here. Eastern milk snake. Oh yeah, he's over there. Or she. Black rat snakes. Let's see. Alright, that one's probably maybe up underneath the rock. We're going downstairs. I was reading something online and it said there was 5 show caves in Indiana. And 4 of them are the ones I already have been at in the recent videos. But they also listed the twin caves here at Spring Mill. So I'm kind of curious what exactly makes something a show cave. Or they're just talking about ones you can just do tours of. Because you can do tours of here depending on season. I know during COVID they had it closed down. But I'm hoping to reopen it this season. Now here's a change in Spring Mill since I was a kid. They put in these wood stairs. Must have been sometime somewhat recently looking at the wood. Probably the last 10 years, I guess. But when I was a kid, we used to have to come down this stone pathway. Which you can no longer really use the stone pathway unless you want to play limbo underneath the timbers. But this is Twin Caves, and while they're actually doing the tours, you can apparently take a canoe or a boat of some kind up and out of one cave and into the other. And apparently this used to all be covered, but then it kind of all fell in and it exposed the underground river, and now it's 2 separate caves, sort of, I guess. Okay, I may have been wrong about being able to boat from one cave to the other because it looks like they have that all dammed up. So maybe I misremembered that. And I also heard someone online say that they don't let people go explore this right side of Twin Caves because apparently it's got some kind of deadly water trap in it. But based on where they put the pier, I guess that's where they plan on putting the boat in. But I don't know if it'll be open this season. Now I've got to wonder why they put in this wooden staircase instead of just, refurbishing the old rock one. Because the rock one looks like it's a much steadier grade. Oh well. I did some cardio anyway. I was curious what exactly a karst is, and apparently this actually defines it. If I can get my shadow out of the way. I'm here at Bronson Cave. I'm going to head down there and take a look. But I can't actually go in, apparently. Oh well. I don't feel like getting wet anyway. I take it that was one stream at one time, and kind of like the Twin Caves. The sinkhole fell in on it, and expose the underground creek. Actually, they never would say underground creek. Even though that they always say underground river, even if it's something that we would normally call a creek if it was above ground. I wonder what the deal is with that. In case if I got to say it before, this is Bronson Cave. I don't think I'll get to all 5, but I figure I'll visit another one. My quads are going to feel awfully rough tomorrow. Spring Mill is a very nice park, but there's a whole lot of stairs to get various places. But it's good for you. Apparently these used to be water fountains or something. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, CCC, but they built a bunch of this stuff during the Great Depression. But I suppose, well, it's no longer active. I kind of wonder how they ran the pipes. Hentai route. Trying to get to Donaldson Cave, and I think it's this way. Luckily we've had enough rainfall over the last few days that the creek is high, so you get better little waterfalls. That's pretty. I could probably put that music, or sorry, that water sound on loop for sleep. Okay, up there ahead is Donaldson Cave, and I guess I've been to 3 of the caves at the park. Maybe there's a few more. I think I'll head back out. If I came back with waders, maybe. Trying to go to Hammer Cave. That cave is the spring that essentially feeds the grist mill out here, though something is broken in that mill, so it's not operational. It's a bit of a hike to get to Hammer Cave, and you have to go here through the Pioneer Village, or at least that's one way. But it's not open yet. I don't think it opens till Memorial Day. I'm not 100% sure, but that seems to be a thing that a lot of these Indiana parks do. And there's the grist mill, but there's some part of it broken, so it no running. So I don't know if they'd be running it this time of year anyway. Alright, Hammer Cave is up this way. Okay, there's Hammer Cave, and that feeds into a flume which feeds the grist mill. And I'm not sure how you come down that. I'm not sure you even can. Oh, you may not have caught it because of my zoom level. Yeah, I'm not sure what trail might connect to that, if any. It might be just for maintenance. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to jump off here. Yeah, that's where the river coming out of Hammer Cave feeds into that flume and down through the grist mill. No cell service out here for me, but there is some free Wi-Fi luckily, so I'm getting along. I know it's weird. I want to stay connected even when I'm out in the woods or something. Okay, I'm pretty sure when I saw that video it said 5 caves of Spring Mill. I think it counted the twin caves as obviously 2 caves. So I think I've actually came out here and visited all 4. Or 5, depending on how you want to count it. Alright, I think I'm done for the day and listening to a guide to all the caves here. I think it's time to drive home and find some grub. You all have a good day.